Welcome to Peace Vision. We are a portal for positive change. And today we're going to be tackling something that steals a lot of peace from our lives, the lack of money. And with me is Mr. Money, David Essel, 24 years in helping people reach financial freedom. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, John.
And so what are some of the basics that we can all do to reach financial freedom?
Yeah, well, the very most important thing that we do, we teach all our clients, as you mentioned, for 24 years, a new definition of what financial freedom means. And what we teach our clients is financial freedom, John, is emotional freedom around money. It's not tied into being a millionaire. It's not tied into making $300,000 a year, although everyone will tell you it is. And most experts will say, let's increase your income. But we say, wait a second. What if we started on the opposite end of the scale? What if we started decreasing expenses as your number one move? So when you decrease expenses, the money you're making right now automatically increases in value. So let's not worry too much about having to make that $1 million for financial freedom. Let's get our expenses down. If we can boost our income at the same time, perfect. But that's going to allow us that emotional freedom around money. A great story, I worked with a woman, she went through our course. She had always struggled, John, never had money in savings account. At the end of the course, she had saved around $12,000. Now, this is the first time she had ever had a savings account. 30 days later, I get a text from her, and the story was this. I went into the dentist. He looked at me and said, this tooth has to be pulled immediately. It's a $5,000 charge. She said, I calmly reached into my book, wrote the $5,000 check. David, she goes, I understand emotional freedom around money. I handed him the check knowing I had plenty more in the bank. John, that's what we teach.
And it really does, it is one of those things that robs us of the peace in our life, right?
Yeah.
Not having our act together in the financial sense. Yeah. What would you give to independent business people that don't necessarily have the same expenses and don't have the typical budget? Any tips there?
Well, what you just said last is crucial. If we don't have a budget, it's one of the quickest ways to get ourselves in trouble. So whenever there's some type of a major catastrophe, like the 2008 economic crash or the pandemic, most people aren't prepared. So we need to start being prepared now for those unexpected events in the future, just like the dental event, or maybe your car breaks down or your child needs some help with healthcare. We want people to have enough money in their savings by thinking about emotional freedom, not the dollar amount, but we want enough in savings where we can weather the storms of life.
And I understand it's also one of the biggest things and issues with relationships, right?
Oh my goodness, John. I would say probably in about 80% of the couples I work with, money is an issue. One person doesn't want to talk about it, they don't want anything to do with it, which is fear-based, right? I don't want to know what our balance is, you're taking care of the checks. And then the other person gets resentful because they go, gosh, everything's on me. And then we start to see friction in the marriage, Or we might have someone who's a free spender. And prior to getting married, they were a free spender there, but we never really approached them with it. So we get married, they're still a free spender, and that can cause a lot of problems too.
Can't imagine. But maybe I can. Hey, if you want to know more about how you can take some real practical steps towards emotional and financial freedom, you have to check out David's book, and it's online on peacevision.com. David, we'll see you soon.
Fantastic, John. Thank
Thanks.
you.